C. Maltby here, Senior Pastor of the True Holiness Saints Center in the beautiful city of Conway, Arkansas. And you know what time it is. It is Wednesday Word time. So what is our Wednesday Word for tonight? Our Wednesday Word is time. More specifically, I want to talk about proper time management. I once heard the saying that there is never enough time in the day to complete every task, but there's always sufficient time to complete that which is necessary and that which is most important. Let me say that again. There's never enough time, there's never enough hours in the day to complete every task, but there's always sufficient time to complete what is necessary and what is most important. And so tonight I thought that I would simply share with you 3 principles that will help you always have time to complete the things that are necessary and the things that are most important. So when we talk about time management, when we talk about narrowing it down and completing the things that are necessary and the things that are most important, principle number 1 is this. You have to learn to delay some things. Yeah, you've got to learn to delay some things. Now, when I talk about delaying things, don't get it confused with procrastination. When I talk about delaying things, I'm really talking about reassigning them to a later date. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1, it says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. What Solomon is really saying to us today is that timing is everything. In fact, I like to say that timing is a key component to your success. See, doing things in the proper time helps you to keep the main thing the main thing. Doing things in the proper time keeps you from being frustrated and overwhelmed. But on the other hand, when you do things out of time or out of season, it often causes confusion and chaos in our life. This is why God himself talks about in 1 Corinthians 14 and 33 that God is a God of order. In other words, God is a God of timing. And if you're going to do the things that are necessary, if you're going to do the things that are most important, first and foremost, you've got to learn how to delay some things. Not to procrastinate, but to simply reassign them to a later date. Timing is everything. So when it talks about proper time management, the first thing we need to know is that we have to delay some things. But then secondly, if you really want to focus on the things that are necessary and you really want to focus on the things that are most important, you have to learn to delegate some things. Yeah, you've got to learn to delegate some things. Delegation simply means handing over the task to someone else. That's delegation. And when you're thinking about delegating something, a task or something on your to-do list, you have got to find people. You got to find people that are both willing and capable to get the job done in the time frame allotted. When you're talking about delegating things, you've got to find people with the proper temperament and skill set to get the job done on time. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9 says these words, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return on their work. In other words, what Solomon is really saying to us is we've got to learn the importance of properly utilizing the people God has placed in our life to help us get the job done. Who are the people that God has placed in our life? For some of us, it might be your spouse. It might be your children. For others, it might be colleagues and co-workers. For others, it might be friends and well-wishers. But we've got to learn to utilize the people God has placed in our life to help us get the job done. People who are willing and capable to get it done in the time frame allotted. But once you identify the right person, the next very important step to delegation, hear me, church, is you've got to get out the way and let them do the job. That's good teaching. Once you identify the person who is willing and capable, the next logical step is to get out the way and let them do their job. Why are you talking about that, Pastor Malpia? Because there is nothing more frustrating than a micromanager. There's nothing more frustrating than someone breathing down your neck and standing over your shoulder and trying to do the job with you. Here's my question to you tonight. What good is delegating? What good is delegation if you're going to micromanage the person in charge? What good is passing it on to someone else if you're going to be right there helping them get the job done? When we talk about proper time management, when we talk about narrowing it down and doing the things that are necessary and most important, the first thing we've got to learn to do is that sometimes things need to be delayed. But then secondly, some things need to be delegated. And finally today, and I'm just about through, you've got to learn to delete some things. Now that's good teaching. In fact, write this down in the comment section. Put it in your personal notes. You've got to learn to eliminate the unimportant. Yeah, you've got to learn to eliminate the unimportant. If you don't want to burn out, and you don't want to be stressed out, and you don't want to be frustrated, then you've got to learn to eliminate the unimportant. In other words, you've got to learn to remove all of the non-essentials from your to-do list. And when you move those things from your to-do list, what it does is it frees up your bandwidth. And it gives you a fresh opportunity to focus on more pressing matters. You've got to learn to delete some things. Social media quote for tonight. Type this in the comment section. Put it out there as your personal status. But here it is. Deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what needs to be done. Yeah. Deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what needs to be done. Here's what you've got to understand. You are a limited resource. You can't be everything to everybody all the time. I like the way the Apostle Paul puts it in Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 1. In that B clause, Paul basically says it like this. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles us. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Again, Paul says, let us throw off everything that hinders. In other words, when he talks about throwing off, he's really talking about you've got to learn to eliminate and delete the things on your to-do list that are slowing you down and preventing you from doing the things that are most important. Here's what I know for sure. Deleting someone or something from your priority list doesn't mean that that's not a good use of your time. It simply means at this age and stage in your life, it simply means at this critical season of your life, it's not the best use of your time. Just because you delete someone or something off of the top of your priority list doesn't mean that they're not a good use of time, but you're looking for the best use of your time, what is necessary and what is most important. So here are two questions to ask yourself to help determine the best use of your time. Here's the first question. What deserves the best of my time and attention today? Every morning you ought to get up and ask yourself the question, what deserves the best of my time and attention today? What people, what projects, and what problems do I need to focus on today? That's the first question. What deserves, what needs the best of my time and my attention? But then secondly, what can manage today without me? What can manage without me today? What people can manage without me today? What projects can manage without me today? And what problems can manage without me today? Our Wednesday word tonight is time. Proper time management. There's not enough time in the day to do everything. But there's certainly enough time to do what is necessary and what's most important. And if you want to use your time wisely, you've got to learn what to delay. You've got to learn what to delegate. And you've certainly got to learn what to delete. Until we speak again, my friends, be blessed.